Relations with the bird. I went for a walk at the beginning of one year. Thin ice formed on the rice field of both sides of the farm road. I saw that some mysterious balls of the inexperienced feeling were displayed within the striking distance. Oh, they picked this up from somewhere and thought that I was put to see it when I went. The ball of the inexperienced feeling is the feeling that is only slightly smaller than a glass marble. And I am not when I am transparent. I look like some stones. Not to mention me, I was going to go the place without touching such a thing. A crow watched it on the top of the electric light pole and seemed to do it when I would not overlook the thing which went without doing anything. So the other crows which there was in the distance noticed it because it had begun to call suddenly. I performed it for an order to the representative of the bird, which the thing which was quick in flying most in that gathered blue balls and put. I seemed to just pass in defiance of a put ball when a guy went along there. So I think that one's work might be ignored, and the grey starling which asked the father of the crow for watch beforehand has square it by this matter. How shall the man who ignores it, and went have it? That was the thing which gave fragment waste of the bread to this, us, but mold grew on the bread and was not a thing eaten very much. It is the evil deed that a guy thought about beforehand. It must be the malice that there is in the heart of the guy that ignore the blue ball this time. Please, I will teach you a lesson. The chicken which I talked so about was released for an action of the revenge. The bird which I cannot normally have a sharp eye for at night is covered to the shadow of the junk of the ironworks, and is strange when I go, spoke. Such as one or the scream of the woman that the crow can imitate a human voice drew attention of me aloud. I heard the voice that the woman grieved at from some shade. I who thought unnaturally approached and looked for the neighborhood. However, I was able to find nothing. But it surely becomes the mind in the one which I cry, and I hear a voice of the woman. When I walk looking for the place, it was revealed that there was a person wrapped up in something like some blanket. As soon as I approached quietly and was going to put my hand on it, a steel frame collapsed and was almost crushed. It was a dangerous place. Shit. I did not know what the one of now was while it was the beginning. A lot of birds stop at the high place and see this when I turn eyes on little. I am angry like that about the day. Guys. It is such a thing if I say that birds think anyway. Because when I went for a walk on the next day, it was said a blue ball a lot. I put it in the plastic bag which I brought and all took it to go. After it being night, and throwing it to the garden, many inexperienced fireballs were generated. Because it became the group once and rose, I felt temporarily relieved and entered the bed. In a usual state, there was a woman in bed. A face was right a bird, but the woman was the woman itself, that the human being was young as for the body. When I did something, it reacted interestingly. All the greed carried it out in the bird women. The bird of the woman who slept found the hit of my chest with a bill several times. I held the bird on that day and slept. In a dream, only the head of the bird rolled to a garden. What bird is it? Oh, this is a chicken. There is a crest. There is still breath, and Paku Paku does a tongue. Do you want to say what it is? Or is it to be thirsty? What is your appearance? I was attacked by whom? Somebody would cut your neck. I'm sorry. I feel pity for you. I will take revenge if I understand the name. But they do not get a voice only by Paku Paku doing a tongue. To see my state, the crow which looked at it on an electric light pole said, "It is father next to your house to have cut the head of the bird. You keep a chicken in a garden, and, in spite of being a residence, want to eat the meat. I cut the neck of the chicken with the big scissors which chose a garden plant in sequence. Their four heads were scattered in a garden, and the body has run somewhere. Around some forest, only a body without the head must be dead at this time. When the next father eats a chicken, I always kill birds in this way. You should see such a cruel thing well, too. It is the human friend who has such things on unconcern. You. The top of the electric light pole, said the crow towards me in this way. I cannot do something like this. I do not keep a bird in first one's house. I cannot do such cruel how to kill. Then the father of the bird said. Then can you marry a bird? Then you show the evidence, and see it. You marry a bird and do not live in the world and is a mule. You should marry a bird woman. It was like that. Is it a bird woman? Well. It is a bird woman. I retorted. A fool. There is a bird woman in a house. There is a bird woman for some time in my house. I get to know you, marry a bird woman for some time all the time, and live. I spoke once, bird woman taking the opportunity. The crow which I talked to towards me became quiet, whether you were surprised at it. And I have flown somewhere. I did not see a figure. I came back to one's bed again. A bird woman was waiting in a usual state there. I intended to embrace a bird woman in a usual state. But I was irritated a little because a bird talked today. One's woman is not a common woman in it. I was dissatisfied with being a bird woman. After embracing a bird woman, and having satisfied greed. Because a woman fell fast asleep, only oneself woke up. It is sleep well. But it is face good, bird then its frustration. I raced suddenly towards a shed. An axe to use when I divided the firewood into one's hand when I came home was grasped. I did not understand it, but met in a hand well somehow. Here, let's cut the head of this woman now. Because it is a bird. Because it is not a human being. I get mad in it. I have already swung down an axe by oneself at the time of it. I swung down a so heavy axe with nature. Therefore the neck of the bird woman was cut as a matter of course. I was able to be surely identified as a bird to a human body. With a crest, I threw it toward the garden. When it was morning, there was the head of the bird nowhere. However, the body of the human woman is covered with blood in the neighbor of one's bed. Oh, I said that there was a murder case in news in Tokyo. They say that killing lovers which cut the head of the woman. I seem to murder you how many people? The criminal has not been yet caught. It is solitary island Seiki Hotel of the land here. In addition, it is a head of the birds that oneself cut. It is not a human being. It is entirely a different thing. However, birds got angry at what I did. So the thing which becomes the evidence when I go to some Tokyo. When I added it and flew, I came to throw it into a garden. In a garden, there are two chickens. A case sending a fast talker out for. I cannot be considered to be a criminal. But birds throw next and a funny thing to the garden from next. So the police came at last. Because there was the body of the woman without the head, I was arrested, and I was treated as a criminal by a house. And a death sentence was given. In addition, does a bird woman pick at a body? There were some skewers of the barbecued chicken on the bed. From the end of the year to New Year holidays end. Eat a barbecued chicken. I drank liquor. I drink too much, and overeating is not good. Because I have a burr in throat. I came out of a dream. This was the first dream of the year.